you could actually say from yesteryear. But tell you what, some beautiful motorcycles all the same, and the effort that goes into the presentation of them is certainly to be admired. So love it. Post Classics certainly very strong here in the Auckland region, and some of the best of our long-time racers, the likes of famous Vince Sharp, of course, really at home when it comes to Post Classic racing. So love your work, Auckland. Great to see Auckland Motorcycle Club and putting our Post Classics out there. And because of their strength in numbers, having the opportunity to do it as a small bike event this year. So effectively it's an F2, F3 kind of a setup, whereby there's none of the big bikes are out there. They're all small bikes. So I think it's quite a nice thing, because normally you come to a big day like this and you normally only favour the big bikes. And what that sometimes is, of course, is the opportunity for guys actually just to go out in the front and take a big advantage, where with the smaller bikes are generally closer together. So I think it's going to have the atmosphere to create tighter racing today, which will be fabulous to see. So keen to look out for this one, and just the examples they come out of Pepsi Max to find them side by side as we look out for it. Remembering, of course, Shane Laurie and Scott Finlay with the Hot 2 last time, and I think that's Scott getting the advantage, and there's Shane in behind him. So Shane to do it. Then go back to our Ducati then to run for the next place. So keen just to see if we're going to pick up any more on that one. And when we talk about our Post Classics in that group, we're talking then about Tim Barnes. So this is our Motor Mail sponsored field with our Post Classics, and keen to look out for these three. And I think they're from at least two of the three different classes as well. So there we go, bike number 20. Out in front of the moment, Scott Finlay, chased along by Shane Laurie, and going to Tim Barnes, and they are all 389 F2 bikes. So they're front-running machinery. When you look at that, they'll be the best of them because they're later model machinery. But keen to look out for the number 3 of Dennis Charlotte on that TZ400. And he just got stronger and stronger in the last race. But the battle he had with Mark Robinson, probably one of the highlights of our previous round. So keen to see. And Mark, well, that's the Mark Robinson versus the Mark Robertson. And I didn't even spot him out there on that occasion. So in fact, if we record last time, we saw him going back as if something had gone wrong. He lost quite a bit on that last lap, so maybe it is something that's forced him out of racing. Look for the little 125. Can we spot him? No, don't see him there. So, no, I don't think so. Don't think so. So, bad luck. I think we don't have a Mark in the race. What a point of difference he made earlier. So, I don't think we've got Mark Robinson on that late 80s Honda RS 125. So, keen to look out for it. Motor Mail sponsored Post Classics. Oh. And then we now go with Dennis, the distinctive sound on the little TZ Yamaha. You see folks, the 400 up there at this stage. So keen to have a look. Yes, he's gone to third, and that's Tim Barnes to go back one. So Tim Barnes looking in there. Now, that won't actually make a difference overall, as Dennis is still number 1 from his class point of view. So he's made that. Remembering, of course, the Mark Robinson battle before, and Mark was the one getting the points because he's in the pre-89 F3. So the smaller bike, again, with the 125/250 up to a 400 compared to those mid-range bikes, compared to F1, of course, it's effectively the 1000 and superbike range. So there we are, looking out for it at the moment, still 22... Motor Mail, proud to sponsor our Post Classic, and keen to look out for this point separation. 20 to go by 84, out there with the 3 of Dennis Charlotte. The Zinger, the TZ, 251 this time for Tim Barnes, out of Glenn Robinson Sports Motorcycles, 20 out there. And looking back to 31. Another of those, that will be Colin Box out of Morrinsville on the Yamaha RZ350. He's given the RZ the GP lookalike, so nice to see the RZ Yamaha. Didn't come out in that kind of livery from its day, but mixing that with so the GP look of the yellow and black checkers, and it made a very classy little GP bike in F2 racing there. So Colin Box, good work out there on the little RZ350. But back to our front with Scott Finlay leading him on the Kawasaki ZXR 400 ahead of Shane Laurie out there on the Bimotor. YB7 600 courtesy of Shane Laurie, Barrister, Pirelli tyres, iPhone oils, RST and Moto leathers. The M to go past now of Mark Robinson, not to be confused with Mark Robinson. No relation, completely different riders, different classes. There we go, there's 20 to go past, followed by the 84, and now here comes Dennis Charlotte, getting better on that bike all the time. 251 this time for Tim Barnes, third in the class of pre-89 F2. Checking out another of our number 20s in the field this time, Nigel Lennox, 65. The look to out there at the moment is Wayne Enstis. So, like your work there, Wayne, nice to see. So, Wayne up there. Wayne Enstis ahead of Alistair Wilton on the 25. Alistair out on the TZ350. He's from the earlier model pre-1982 junior lineup, courtesy of TZ Solutions, MDL and BRM. So, love your work out there, Alistair. Nice to see. Again, bright preparation. Bikes to ogle over. Machinery from, well, it's now over 30 years old, the pre-82, folks. So technology that's been well surpassed in this day and age, but bikes that are still performing very well on a racetrack. And some of them love more than many of them were when they were brand new as well. Lightweight racing for our Post Classics, brought to us by Motor Mail. Check it out online where you can buy it often cheaper than you can from your favourite bike shop. Now we'll check out Motor Mail in their showroom as well in Auckland City. Well, last time for Tim Barnes, he had somebody to race around. Now he's got a little bit lonely and he's all there on his own, having lapped the letter M and also to the 20 that we've got out there. I think that's Nigel Lennox, the high ropes access man. So yes indeed, Nigel. So Nigel Lennox out there, 31 by 52, 52 to add into the equation. Also we have is Johan, and Johan, probably pronounced as a Johan, on the Ducati 750 down there. So Johan Heineke, number 52. Gotta love that little Ducati Sport. It's a nice little bike there. The 92 as well of Jane Hilton out there on the Suzuki. Here we are with our front runners ready to update our Motor Mail Post Classic. Still the number 20. Keen to watch from the front of the field. 20 now, Scott Finlay. Good work by Scott. He's past the lap score line now with Dennis moving up. So Dennis, he squeezed into second last time. Now here's the advantage. And by the way, fastest man on the racetrack also at a 1:14.4, where we have Scott out in front at 1:14.9. And Shane is now gone back to third overall, second in class at 1:15.039. So well done to Dennis Charlotte. Dennis Charlotte, an out-and-out honest performer on the racetrack in our Motor Mail sponsored Post Classics. Protector Insurance racing at the moment as part of our final round of the Auckland Motorcycle Club hosted NZSBK New Zealand Superbike Road Race Championships, the fourth and deciding round. Of course, TT titles up for grabs as well for this championship. So keen to have a look out on our program. Post Classic TT and the white flag out there at the moment. Well, I'm sure some accolades for these guys at prize giving tonight, and they're going to want to see it. Dennis Charlotte stealing the show in that pre-82 lineup. Trying to look who else we've got in that group. I think Alistair Wilton up there on the number 25. He will be in the action along with Wayne Enstis. And Wayne from, Wayne from Alistair, as it was before. So Dennis, Wayne and Alistair, our leading three in the pre-82 junior lineup for our pre-82 F2. And race leader Scott Finlay first, second Shane Laurie, and third then to Tim Barnes. And keen just to look out for that 389 F3 field in there as well. We've got Jane Hilton down in there, Mark Robinson. There are a couple of those riders. And unfortunately with Mark Robinson going out, really did lose the star of the field. So wide open for only 5 of them there to compete for top placings in Motor Mail sponsored Post Classic TT Glory. Here we go, 20 by 3, checker flag, and oh, Dennis would have loved the overall, nearly got there as well. Made up a lot of good ground over that last lap. In fact, did he better his own lap time? No, still a 1:14.4. So well done, but I tell you what, Scott Finlay got faster. He cut it down to a 1:14.7. Oh, sorry, it was 1:13.8. Yes, it was. There it is. Sorry, just updated after we'd looked at the screen the first time. So, yes, Dennis Charlotte bettering his own best lap time on that final lap. So nice work out there for Dennis. On the budget motorcycles and spares, I suppose we should add to that list, because that will now be his own business, so we won't be so much worried about other sponsors, more in fact those who he's got himself. And after all, as much as you have sponsors, you still pay